Hi everyone! I'm going to be doing a really easy background idea. It could be either for an art journal page or it's very easily scannable, so it can be used to upload into your computer so that you can use it in a digital scrapbooking page as well, and then you can edit as you see fit, adding text, adding images. It's going to be a great easy thing that hopefully includes only items that you have around your house. So what I'm going to use today to make this background, I have a few magazines that I just had lying around. I do often buy magazines at half-price books for $1 each, sometimes 50 cents if they're big ones, but I like to look for ones that would have really nice colors and texture on the inside. So I have a few of these magazines. I also have some tissue paper. I'm using mostly white tissue paper, but I might want to put little pops of color in there as well. And I'm using just watercolor paper. It's a 7 by 10, but you can certainly use whatever size you'd like. I also have a glue stick. I often also use gel medium or Mod Podge, so any kind of adhesive that you have is fine. This should be pretty simple to use with any type of glue. I have some simple craft paint in white, and I have my watercolor crayons, which are great to use for added color as well over top of the tissue paper, which you'll see in a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look through the magazines with some kind of color scheme in mind, or with just an eye to see something that might be interesting and items that might go together, colors and textures. I really liked this page, so I marked it. I'm going to tear this out. And there's a lot more in here, but nothing more that struck me when I first flipped through it. Put that one aside. Okay, the Fortune magazine, you'd think, Fortune might not have excellent stuff in here. However, I found this really pretty table and branch page that I think would go really well. So I'm just tearing the whole page out right now. I can cut it up, rip it up as I'd like later. This is a beautiful color, so I really liked the orange and brown of that color. Tear that one out. And I found one more little area that has some yellow, and so I thought that might fit in. I might not actually use it, but we'll see when it's time to put things together. So I'll put that one aside, and then finally Travel and Leisure. I love this magazine. There's another travel magazine I really like called Afar. Beautiful photography in here. So I liked this one because I want to take a little bit out of here. I like how it adds a little bit of the red. So we'll have some gold, red, and maybe that orange, that burnt umber color. I found another page. This draws a little purple and blue in there, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I think I'm actually going to tear out this part over here. It's a cooler green and some blue, so we'll see how that works. I liked this little pop over here. Had some sunlight, some green and yellow. And then I had one other thing. I really liked this from a Bangkok section, this picture of the statue. It's got that bold yellow and orange, so I'll take that out. Alright, and you can see this has been well used. There's a lot of words cut out of here. Alright, so we've got all of our images to use, and we're going to make a collage based on color and texture because you're not going to see much of it in the background. So I'm going to start snipping away at some of these images just to get a feel for how things can fit. I'm only going to take the top part of this. I think I like maybe just the left side of that image. We'll see how that fits with that cooler color scheme. And getting some of the plaid in of her coat with that red, I think will look very nice. Now you may already have ideas as for the scrapbooking or art journal pages that you want when you are doing this kind of background. For me, I just kind of went with what I saw, and that might add some great texture and color in the background. Take a little bit of this bottom color and a little bit of the top color. Okay, so I really liked this area with the green leaves. And a little bit of the texture of this grass to kind of round things out. And draw more of the green out. Okay, so I have all my images that I'm going to play around with, and this is not making any kind of image in particular, so it doesn't matter where it goes. I think I'm going to start with this one and have this kind of as a focal image to give the color, and that's going to look really nice there. I'm going to add in, not sure if I want some of that yellow or gold in the bottom or in the top, so let's see. Cut a little strip of this orange off, have this here, and draw that color up into here. And I don't think I'm going to have any use for this, so I'm actually not going to use that. I'm going to snip this. I think I like that layout, how the cut goes from the warm up to the cool. So I'm going to start taping these on or gluing these on, and we will talk when I'm finished with that part. So I'm going to speed it up, and we'll see you on the flip side. Okay, so my magazine images are glued on, and you can see I really like the way the colors are turning out on this. I've glued them on and I've trimmed them. So right now it's time to put on some tissue paper. And you can put on the tissue paper any thickness you like, you can double up on it. The whole idea is that the tissue paper is going to mute the colors, but you're going to still have the faded color scheme show through, and then you can pull more of that out with the colors you add, whether that's tissue paper or watercolor crayons, or you can even use paint if you have paint at home. You can use markers, whatever. But I'm just going to start by getting a rough piece of tissue paper. I want it to be a little bigger than my image actually and my page, because I'm going to want to kind of wrinkle it up a little bit. So let me get a little more off of here, leave it slightly overlapping on all sides so that I can play around with it a little more. And again, I'm using the Scotch permanent glue stick. It's my favorite one. I love that one. And I'm just going to liberally apply it all over because we want that tissue paper to stick as well as possible so it's not bubbling up too much. I like the wrinkled look, but we want it to be mostly flat. Alright, so you can see already, I love the wrinkles as they come through, and I love the way the textures and the colors come through, but only slightly. Tear some of this off the top. I think I want to actually add a little extra down here to kind of mute that difference between the orange and the other section. And I have some other colors of tissue paper that I can use. I'm not sure really if I want to at this point. I could add a little yellow in. I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. You can add, again, you can add just torn pieces, you can add squares, you can really do whatever you like. And if you already have something in mind, how you'd like your finished page to look with whatever images, photographs, whatever you're going to be putting in there, then you might already be set. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back here so I can fold the rest of this tissue paper over. Get it out of my way a little bit. need in terms of some more paint and color. So right now, I'm really liking the way the colors are kind of flowing together. I'm going to add just a teeny bit of white, kind of to give it even more of that little aged look. And I just do it with my fingers, actually, because it helps me. I can move around the color a little more, the paint. And you can see it really blends well. I'm just going to do it kind of around the outside to make a little bit of a frame with the white. Alright, so I've got a little bit of that white, and I think I'm going to add in some kind of yellow just to pull the yellow in from the images underneath, but in a little more muted way. I'm only going to do it on this side, I think, and then maybe on the other side I'll pull in some of the green. I love watercolor crayons. They are so versatile. I actually have another video on things I do with watercolor crayons, but they're very versatile and can be smudged, they can be painted to make a watercolor wash. I'm going to use a little bit of water actually right now, kind of bring that watercolor crayon into more of a wash effect. Alright, I think I might drag a little bit of orange into the bottom. Let's find an orange I like. Go along with the yellow a little bit. Get a little bit of water to kind of wash that. Do you notice how that just makes that watercolor crayon completely react? And it just spreads it out, so it no longer looks like crayon stroke, it looks like a watercolor, which I love it. Right. So there you go. A wonderful background that you can use if you scan it. You can get images on there, you can edit it in whatever photo software you use, add text, you can bolden the colors or even mute them more, and this is a perfect way to start either a scrapbook page digitally or an art journaling page.